Welcome to the channel. Let's talk about the 7Artisans 35mm 1.4 for the Z mount. Alright, well, this is an APS-C lens. I have it mounted on a FX body, but this works best on a DX body such as the C50 or the upcoming Z FC. This lens will let you focus to a minimum distance of 35 centimeters. As mentioned before, this lens works best on a DX body. On the FX body, as I have here, you'll get the vignetting on the corners, which actually I kind of like. Let me show you some pictures that I've taken with this lens and an FX body like this. And as you can see, yeah, there is a vignetting on the corners, but I like that effect on some pictures. Okay, so with this lens, if your body does not support VR, in this case mine does, but the other cameras do not. There are other cameras that don't have VR built in, then you won't get any kind of vibration reduction. This is an all manual lens. Everything is made of metal. Focusing with this lens is pretty quick. The aperture goes from 1.4 all the way to 16. As you can see, there are no clicks in between the apertures. This makes it great for video. The focus rotation, it's the opposite of my Leica lenses, so that takes some time to getting used to it. Focus breathing with this lens is very minimal. Let me show you some samples with the blur quality. There is some distortion with this lens, but you can always control that later in Photoshop or Lightroom or any other editing suite. The flaring of this lens is also very well controlled. There are some ghosts, but again, very minimal. There are some aberrations, as you can see in the samples, but you can also control that later in your editing suite. I took this lens on a trip to the Valley of Fire, and let me show you some samples here. There's a vintage aspect to it in some photos. It's sharp when it needs to be, lots of detail. Great lens for travel, very lightweight. It's a really fun lens to use, especially for the size and the weight. As mentioned before, this lens is for the Z mount, but they have it available on Canon and many others. This is all for now. If you want to see more samples with this lens, head over to my blog at ErickPHOTO, and we'll see you again.